Ever see yourself going back to elective politics?
I don't know. I live one day at a time. My focus at the moment is to leave a lasting legacy in the responsibility that I have.
Okay.
I am grateful to God that He gave me a chance to serve at this point and this level. And elective position, I don't know, not in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the president had also entrusted a lot of young people with powerful positions.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Soro. We have Ichungwa.
Yes.
We have Sopian Tuya.
Yes.
We have yourself, Aaron Chiriot, and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think these young people that the president put in such positions are the ones that are failing the president?
I will speak for, I don't think these young people are failing the president or failing the country. I think each one of us, we are trying to do our best to deliver on our responsibilities. And I think I want people to judge us by our actions and the things we are delivering than just merely the age. For example, Aaron Chiriot took over the position I had before. He's doing a fantastic job.
Okay.
Kimani Ichungwa took from something that my colleague Duale used to have before. Of course, Kimunya was in between, just like between me and Aaron was Pokisho, but he's doing a very good job. The problem is that many people look at just the negative. Leading is a very difficult, complex act, and you have to negotiate many things to be able to succeed. There are so many young people across the country now that are in different leadership positions, from MCAs to a few of us who are in the cabinet, myself, Soipan, as you said. We are not too young, though. I don't think I can still qualify to call myself young people. But of the youngest among the cabinet secretaries, I think we are all trying our best to make sure that we deliver on our mandate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to transport, Kidogo, aviation.
Yeah.
We're so sad we lost Ogola, CDF Ogola, plane crash.
Sad.
You also had a crash landing.
Mm-hmm.
Are Kenyans safe in the air?
They are. Our airspace is one of the safest in the region. I can tell you that without fear of contradiction. We've put measures in place to even make it better. You remember I gazetted a task force the other day to do comprehensive investigation of aeroplane accidents in Somalia and South Sudan, of aeroplanes that are registered, because that is the standards in the International Civil Aviation Authority. I gazetted them the other day to go and investigate them, because we want to make sure that our country is safe and the accidents have been minimized. The accident and incidents have been minimized. Yeah. In the recent past, of course, it was very sad, the peculiar collision that happened at the Wilson Airport between a student pilot and a commercial aeroplane. General Okola's accident, and also the accident that involved myself and others. And, thank God it didn't go too far. It was a serious thing, by the way. We just downplayed it.
What happened?
I don't know. We just took off.
Chopper.
And then, and then the whole thing became red all over and made the weirdest noise. And we're about to go down a cliff. So we, luckily I was sitting in front. I was very calm. I told the pilot, land. Anyway, I don't want to disclose what happened to him because I've not his permission, but once we landed down, I was the first one to get out, and also the one who tapped him to switch off the plane, and we got out. Most of my staff, because we had a camera person, we had security people, we had Honorable Caleb Kostan. A number of them were really shaken for a moment. I never allowed myself to get shaken. I just called a colleague who was there who had another chopper, and they gave us, and I proceeded to the funeral of the
Ukapanda chopper ingine?
Yes, to the funeral of the mother of my MD of Kenya Airports Authority in Migori. I went straight to Migori for the funeral. And I never gave myself time to worry about what exactly happened. Okay. Of course, as I was going, I could see the hate. That's why I told you I'm used to. I'd see a number of people in social media to say, oh, that plane made a mistake, that guy should have died, those kind of things. They hate that it happens in this world.
Do they affect you?
Not now, not so far. So what I am now struggling with, and my wife also has become, in the initial years when I started politics, those things used to affect us. The insults and all that. But now over time, I have become immune. But it's good to be immune, but also don't become numb. Because when you become numb, nothing will bother you. You will now not care about anything else. So it's good not to bother yourself so much. I read so many of the comments there saying that guy should have died, even from people I know. There's so many people on social media, they don't think I know them. They don't know I know in school somewhere. That particular day, their friends had seen it online, so they went and told him, we have a story to tell you, but it's not bad. Your dad was involved in an accident, but it's okay. So I'm just wondering, even that sad news only is not easy, but I'm also wondering when they now Google in the near future. I have denied them phones to a certain extent. But when they start having these phones and they're in social media, their father, they're saying he was arrested in Dubai. I wonder. So we are trying to train them because those are the hazards.
Kenyans with tax.
Yeah, is killing people. Your father, blah, blah, blah. Your father is incompetent, he's whatever. He's corrupt, he is stolen. All the things you guys have are for theft and so forth. So slowly I need to start now socializing them to this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a CS for transport, what do you consider your biggest achievement so far? Nini umefanya unasema this is going to be my legacy?
I think let me speak for the transport sector, not the road sector.
Okay.
On the air transport, I think we have done very well to work on the airport. When we came to the airport, the Greenfield terminal had a case in Paris of 20 billion shillings. And the people had demanded the government of Kenya to pay 20 billion for a boat contract of 2016. I am very happy that we negotiated that out until the only government paid damages of about 650 million, and we cleaned the place. We are now doing a procurement process, particularly if we do so under PPP. In the aviation sector also, I inherited a number of airstrips that were contracts in airstrips that were not functioning. I'm glad that we've negotiated all of them. Ukunda in Diani, we managed to clear the squatter issues there and finish the extension of the runway, which was ongoing. Now we have bigger planes landing in Ukunda, and we're building the terminal. I am happy that we started a new route for flights to Migori, and to Kabunde, that is Kabunde, in Homa Bay. And we have now scheduled flights to Homa Bay and Migori. We have also scheduled flights to Kakamega. I am also very happy that we are now rehabilitating most of our... we are completing also the airstrips. That is Nanyuki, Nakuru, Angama. We are finishing the one for Manda. We are sorting and we cancelled the contract on the one of Lokichokyo, and we are getting a new contractor. All those things that are stalled in the previous administration for 2-3 years, all of them now we are bringing back the contractors to complete them. We are working also, and I'm very happy that Wilson Airport, which had been left for many years without rehabilitation, we have just finished the process of contracting, and the contractor is moving inside so that we make sure that we rehabilitate the infrastructure. We don't find ourselves in the same problem that we have in Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We fixed the roof in Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and now we are moving to the process of that covered roof is going to have a better terminal around that place so that it can give more services to the people of Kenya. Mombasa, we are doing something about the airport in Mombasa. That is in the aviation sector. In the railway, we are making sure that we rehabilitate the railway in Nairobi. We have built about 10 new railway stations. Tomorrow I'll be visiting some of them in Nairobi. We have also done an extension of SGR of Mombasa using MGR to Miritini to town. so that the people of Kenya, when they leave from Nairobi to Mombasa, they don't just get stopped at the SGR terminus. They can move to the town itself. And process of that connection and the terminal is ongoing in the construction. We are also rehabilitating the connection in Anyuki. We are doing the ones that is going to Malaba. We operationalized the yard in Malaba, and working together with the Minister of Uganda, we managed to ensure that railway seamless connectivity between wagons that move from Kenya to Uganda is seamless, and the Ugandan people are very happy, and business people, and it has increased the volume of business that comes through SGR to the ICD to Mombasa to Kampala. People will be very happy to know that the SGR services from Nairobi to Mombasa now has new coaches, including new first-class coaches that makes it affordable for more people to travel. We have increased the number of people who are using SGR. The revenue has doubled up in for both cargo and the passenger. And we have worked out a model to attract more business people to use the SGR. It had dipped to go down, but we worked on the tariff to make sure that goods can come from the SGR, more goods can come from SGR. We have certain services that are going on, a number of programs that are going on with SGR. But most importantly, I am working on negotiating a new model of funding the SGR to move from now Naivasha to Malaba through Kisumu. And we want to use public-private partnerships, a combination of private sector investment with a railway development levy and also support of our development partners. This model, we are working on it before the president can go for FOCAC this year, which is the Forum for China and Africa in September. And I hope that through that we can have build this railway line to move to Malaba. If you look at also what we are doing in the seaport, we have done tremendously well in the port of Mombasa. Tremendous. The volumes that we are clearing now have increased, by about 500,000 TEUs. We have some of the biggest ships are now docking in Mombasa, courtesy of us making sure that our clearance processes are fast. We are the top 3 best ports in Africa now on efficiency as a country. And we are investing in widening the berth. I have shepherded investment of 50 billion shillings in the Dongokundu berth. That is now, the contractor is going to start anytime in the next 1 month to go on site. We are finishing something on taxation, and then the contractor will go on site. We are guiding the process of investing in Dongokundu Special Economic Zone, clearing the squatter issue, and already we have given out investment places in the Dongokundu investment area. We are doing a fantastic job in the Lake Victoria with the Kenya Ports Authority. We are building piers in Homa Bay, Kendu Bay, and working towards getting a ferry that goes to Mfangano Highland for the first time. Lake Victoria is one of the most beautiful parts of the country. And by the way, have you gone to Homa Bay? It's one of the beautiful, best areas in this continent. We want to open up those areas for tourism and investment by making sure that the road network is also complemented by the lake network that's going to make it more attractive for tourism and more hotels built in that area. If you go to, I've talked about the air also. Air, I let in so many flights to come to the country. Fly Dubai going to Mombasa, Air Indigo coming to the airport, and new airlines are coming to the country. We are revamping and refurbishing the cargo sector. Kenya Airways is beginning to become operational and improving on its income and revenue, although they are still struggling with a subsidy. So on the transport sector, for the first time in the Republic of Kenya, we had the largest cargo docking in Lamu Port, and 60,000 metric tons of fertilizer destined to southern Ethiopia were cleared in the Lamu port for the first time. Even now, they are still being evacuated, and those goods are passing through Kenya up to Moyale. Fantastic. The negotiations were led by the president, and I worked with the ministers of Ethiopia, and they finally allowed us to have that cargo come to the country. By the way, I can list for you so many things that we are doing in transport. If you come to road transport, first road infrastructure, the biggest thing I will be able to help the country achieve is the dualing of the road from Mombasa to Malaba. As you very well know, we have been guiding the investors. There is an investor that is called Everstrong that wants to invest in the road between Mombasa to Nairobi. But part of that Mombasa to Nairobi, my first assignment to go to Korea with the president negotiated, and we worked together to make sure that we got funding to do dualing of Mombasa Road from Lolongo, where the expressway ends, up to Emali, funded by the Korean government. And we are now doing the feasibility study, and hopefully by next year we access the funding to dual up to Emali. And then the remaining part of it, the investor is going to put, and we are going to co-invest so that tolling and dualing of the roads can happen. The Rironi Mau Summit from here up to Malaba is one of the most important projects. I'm working with there was an existing contractor who was there, but it was extremely expensive and wanted to transfer the cost to the people of Kenya. We are trying to disengage in that arrangement, and hopefully by January next year we get a new investor to do PPP. And as I've told some people, many people were saying, oh, Kipchumba is doing nothing and so forth. It's just a matter of time. Once we get that contractor on site to dual this road up to Malaba, we are going to make a big difference in terms of doing these roads. The difference between myself and my predecessor is that most of the projects I have to deliver using PPP, because we are now incapacitated to borrow. In the last 10 to 15 years, actually 20 years, from the time President Kibaki came to office up to 5 years or so, when President Uhuru exited, we had such level of liquidity and ability to borrow that now has clocked the system. We are unable to borrow during our time. So what works best for us is to make sure that we get PPP projects to deliver the grand projects that we dream for. And to achieve PPP projects is not easy, my friend. Okay. You negotiate because you are getting an investor to bring fast his money and to be able to move it. I promise the country that we are going to put cameras on the roads, and it's going to help us in the speed enforcement. And I told the Kenyans by December, the contractor will have gone to site. I will keep my promise. And December this year.
It's been 2 years already.
My friend.
Do we have any project that has already happened? Because now you're talking about how the feasibility study is going to start.
On most of those, most capital-intensive projects, what I've told you, you don't start today and it happens today.
Yeah, but it's 2 years already.
Even 3 years, even 4.
Before it happens.
It takes longer.
Okay.
But what we have done is to move the procurement process faster, so that in our third year, which I believe in the 2025, most of these contractors will be on site. On the road sector, let me just complete this. On the road sector, we have got ITS projects. ITS, Intelligent Traffic System, that is going to deal with 125 junctions in Nairobi. I'm glad that all the contracts have been signed, and the contractor now is moving to site to contract. We are doing BRT system, the 5 BRT lines in Nairobi, again to enable us to move mass transit of people in the city. The BRT process, part of it will be PPP, part of it is going to be funding. I went to Europe and we got the money from the European Union, 49 billion, to do the Dandora line that is going to help us to move forward. You know that the contractor is on site also constructing the railway, a new railway line from Riruta here to Ngong. And we want to make sure that from Ngong, it goes all the way to Kiserian, via Kiserian to Rongai, and hopefully finally to Galeria, so that we move more people by rail. By far, we are revamping the rail system you saw the other day, the cabinet approved the funding from the World Bank for us to revamp the railway system all the way 58 kilometers up to Thika. That is going to make a difference in this city. We've constructed during these 2 years new tarmac roads of 1,000 kilometers all over the country, bits and pieces all over the country, because, as I told you, we have a pending bill at the moment of 165 billion shillings. And that 165 billion shillings, the president and the government said we hold road construction a little bit. We settled the part of the debt. We were hopeful that we were going to embark now on bringing back our contractors. I want you to remember that before we came to office, I came to office and it was 150 billion, that money. Because my predecessor, 2 to 3 years before he left the office, they were unable to progress with the contractors because we reached a stage where we borrowed, we started new projects, we never had the money to be able to run those projects, and it has stalled. Our hope, and I promise the people of Kenya, sometimes to stop the propaganda that people think, if you go to Mount Kenya region, someone says, Mount Kenya region roads are going on, coast is not going on. If you reach coast people say, if you go to Mount Kenya, they will say coast is going on, Mount Kenya is not going on. Nyanza the same. I want to tell the people of Kenya, roads have stalled in the entire republic. And it's all over the republic.
Okay.
And the budget that we had last year, we were given 51 billion, only 26 was disbursed. This year, the president has promised that now we have to do something despite the finance bill collapsing to find ways of making sure that we complete these roads. And I am very hopeful. I know the reputational challenge that I'm going to go through by virtue of not having the money and the roads have stalled. But as a cabinet secretary who is responsible for his country, it is a smaller problem for me to be called incompetent because the contractor has not gone back to site. It's a smaller problem than for Kenya to borrow haphazardly just to meet those demands. We must structure well our financial system to make sure that when we borrow, we are borrowing and making these things available. But be it as it may, donor-funded roads are also ongoing. The road from Mombasa to Mtwapa to Kilifi is ongoing. From Mtwapa also coming to town is also ongoing, and it has gone very well. Kwanjomvu Mariakani is ongoing. Some of the roads like Thika, Magumu is ongoing. Isiolo Modogashe is ongoing, and I promise the people of Kenya that for the first time, this administration, before next elections, will have substantially delivered part of the 750-kilometer road between Isiolo up to Mandera for the first time. Okay. And this we are working with our development partners.
So now.
Hey guys, how are you? I hope you people have been doing good. It's your girl again, and I'm here to tell you about our channel. The last time I told you guys to subscribe because in that channel you're going to be entertained, politics, church issues, and a lot of things that are going concurrently with the state of the government as per now. I ask you guys to hit that subscribe button, subscribe, and always you'll get that notification whenever we upload something. Kisumu TV, I'll be waiting for you. Thank you.